It's 5:16 p.m. on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. We're at City Hall, and with a quorum of members present, I'll be calling the Finance Committee to order. Item number 1 on our agenda is elect a vice chairman for the remainder of the 2024-2026 term of the Finance Committee. So I'll open the floor to any nominations for vice chair.
I'll nominate Alder Tierney.
Okay, Alder Tierney, do you accept? Okay, do we have a second?
I would second that.
Okay, any other nominations? Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations? A third time, nominations? Not hearing anything, I call the nominations closed. I guess we will have, since there's only one nomination, we'll have a vote of unanimous consent. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's carried. Congratulations. All right. It's easy. Item number 2, the minutes of the previous meetings. That's from August 26, 2025. They're in your packet. Any questions or discussion? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion. Motion from McElhaney, second.
Second.
Second from Henke. Not hearing anything. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries. Item number 3, discussion and possible action authorizing continued membership in CIVMIC for policy years 2026, 2027, and 2028. We've discussed this at our prior 2 meetings. We've gotten a fair amount of information back now for this one. I think we should be able to make a decision on if we were going to maintain our CIVMIC enrollment for another 3 years. So.
Yes, so the city attorney reached out to CIVMIC, kind of explaining some of the thought processes that the city was going through, and they would be satisfied with just a commitment for the 2026 year. I guess, as I pointed out in my memo, there are several items to consider when evaluating this subject. One of them is, this does commit their premium, which last year, 2025, was $214,000 some odd dollars. 2026 would be $220,000, so that's a relatively reasonable increase. Our procurement policy exempted CIVMIC because it is a mutual insurance company. The city, from a historic perspective, has purchased insurance from mutuals under, I guess, 3 different situations: with CIVMIC, with Transit Mutual Company, which again is a mutual company that insures our buses. And so again, a mutual company is established to provide insurance services to its members. Usually the membership is very specific, so that it's dealing with common exposure issues, which Cities, Villages, Mutual obviously is dealing with the types of exposures that we have with fire and police, with street activity, the broad activities and services that cities offer its residents. And then any profits are given back to the members through dividends. So in that situation, there's not a lot of motivation to build up costs. Now, that doesn't mean going out for RFP isn't a good idea, because each mutual insurance company could establish their line of policies different than the next one. And so one might provide services that the other one doesn't. And for example, CIVMIC focuses a lot on training, so there's a lot of training offered all of its members. Those are safety training and training that is designed to reduce exposure to risk. So, whether it be, I don't know, like fast pursuits, or just things where it's like you should conduct business in this best practice because it will reduce your risk to lawsuits and liability in the future. And then CivMIC also provides us with NeoGov, which is the software that we're currently using for recruiting within the city. And they figure that that policy or that software package, if the city was to buy it alone, would be $40,000. So those are some of the added benefits that we get currently with CivMIC, but that doesn't mean that the other mutual companies wouldn't be able to provide similar services. I guess a couple of the key things is if we don't sign by September 15th, if we go through an RFP process and then decide to stay with CivMIC, we would lose our dividend. That dividend and the timetable of September 15th is set as a hard stop because they have to make commitments to their carriers who are providing insurance to all members, not specific members. And so that's why they have that timetable. I did reach out to the consultant that we used to evaluate insurance when we moved to CivMIC years ago, and they gave us a proposal to to do the RFP on the city's behalf and look at the proposals that we receive. But we're talking about a really tight deadline. Like we would be right up into December if we were going to do that. And then there are two mutual insurance companies right now that provide liability insurance to cities and similar municipalities, and that's the League and then the Wisconsin Municipal Mutual Insurance Company. When you look at those two, the Wisconsin Municipal Mutual Insurance Company is doing mostly counties. They do have two cities. I think it's La Crosse and Madison maybe are the two big cities that they do. And when you look at the League and all of their members, it's generally all the really tiny little communities throughout the state and little towns. Though they do Oshkosh, there's a couple of larger cities. So, in looking at this, to me, it seems like we have two options. One is to go forward with the RFP knowing that we would lose our deductible or our dividend for the year and be right up to the end to kind of make a decision. The other is to sign on again for 2026 solely and start an RFP process like in the spring so we have plenty of time to go through the evaluation, because when I talk to the consultant, obviously the consultant is getting some service fees out of this, but she felt, because we had been with CivMIC since 2007, there was justification for going out and looking again. And it definitely allows you to compare what each mutual insurance company offers, and we could get proposals from the private sector too, like Liberty or someone like that. So,
Questions? I see Alder Tierney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Marianne, I know the last time we had gotten together, there was one place that you had called, but it was that day and they hadn't called back.
yeah, the
yet.
League. So he has reached out to me and said he would give me us a quote. Again, I'm hesitant to just do one quote and not a full RFP because it seems like that you either stick with them, with CivMIC, because our procurement policy exempts them, or you go out for a full RFP.
Okay. What was the quote that you got from them?
Oh, they didn't give me one.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
wanted to just meet. So,
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? I see we don't have the resolution in our packet, but I looked at the council packet, and the resolution does state for 26, 27, and 28, so we would have to amend
yes,
that
thank you.
if we wanted to go 26
Yeah.
and then plan for an RFP for next year.
Yeah. And I did include all of our coverage that CivMIC currently helps us manage, just so you would get an idea of the different services that they use. And for example, right now, the airport insurance and the underground storage tank liability, really, we're buying on our own. They have an insurance consultant that they use, and they help us bid that out when it needs to be bid out. We don't pay anything for that consulting services because it falls under the CIVMIC umbrella. So every year when I go out for airport insurance, they're getting bids for me. We're evaluating, and usually airport is a 3-year contract, and the storage tank is a 1-year.
Okay, Alder Tierney?
I make a motion that we sign for 2026, but then start getting those RFPs. I guess in my mind, it's no different than what the city does for health insurance. And to have gone almost 20 years without looking at other coverage, I think that it's time to do so.
Right. And so I think it's pertinent to the agenda, I don't know. But, this last year, we moved to MPIC for insurance, which again, we were buying our property insurance out in the market. MPIC gave us a proposal, and there was a recommendation to move to MPIC, and council did approve joining them. So again, that would be a mutual insurance. So we could add that as an exemption on our sole source in the procurement policy. I can put that on the agenda for a future meeting. It wouldn't be, I don't care how you want to handle it, but, and then prior to actually purchasing property insurance, the state of Wisconsin ran a property insurance fund for all local governments, and so we purchased insurance through the insurance commissioner for the state of Wisconsin, basically, and that was exempt at that time. We never went out for bid. The state eventually closed that service to municipalities and government units.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Second from McElhaney. And yeah, I think it's a good idea to have this to go out to RFP just to see what's out there in the marketplace. I know, the benefits of a mutual insurance company is it does save your members, the members do save money because excess revenue profits go back as dividends, which is nice, the cooperative aspect of that. But I think we still should look and see what the other.
And I think the emphasis on safety and risk reduction, obviously that pays benefits because the less claims that you have, the lower your premiums should be, and,
I think our greatest familiarity is the representatives going through Public Works and
Right.
finding exposures there. So
Yeah.
remember that items coming up to CIP because of risk. So, okay, any other discussion? Okay, so there's a motion and a second to continue with CIVMIC for, as amended for 2026, and then go out to RFP the spring of 2026. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that carried. And we'll see that at council this evening. So, okay. Let's see. Item number 4, discussion and possible action approving 2026 benefit design for city and CCIT employees. And this came up in the HR committee yesterday, but it needs to go through finance and then eventually make its way to council. So I guess the good news is that our insurance rates for health insurance only went up 9.5%. So that's definitely better than what's could have happened. I know the expectations are a lot higher increases, and we see CIT in our pool. That also will also help. It gives us a bigger pool, so that helps moderate our our rates too, so. Okay, any discussion? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion. Motion from Watson, second.
Second.
Second from Henke. Discussion? Not hearing anything. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries. And I think this goes to council also this evening. So, item number 5, a presentation on sale day report for general obligation promissory notes, series 2025A. And more good news, I guess.
Yeah, we sold or took bids on September 3rd. We were a little concerned and actually had a meeting that morning to decide whether we were going to, because that Friday before, I think the federal government released that they were eliminating the de minimis tariff exemption. So there was an exemption of all products that were less than $800 coming in from China, things like that, and they've eliminated that. So we were a little concerned about what the market would do with that information come Tuesday morning, because this was the day after Labor Day weekend. But they put out some feelers, in different parts of the country, sales are taking place an hour earlier than in Wisconsin because of the time zones differences. And we decided to go forward, and we're super glad we did, because we got 9 bids, which is a lot of interest on the city's debt. The lowest bidder was Huntington Securities, and the true interest cost was 2.918%, which I think the financial advisors in their email to me said, holy moly, we haven't seen a rate less than 3% in a long time. So I think we're very fortunate in timing the market when we did. They offered a premium to us of almost $1 million. What that does is it gives us more money than we asked for, but we use that then to pay the interest. And how that helps, let's say, Huntington Securities or any other person that's remarketing these bonds, is it allows them to increase the interest rate when they're selling it on the market. So that $984,000 goes to pay the interest in the first 2 years, and that will be incorporated now into our 2026 budget. But the net results were $667,000 of savings in basically interest.
Overall
over the
interest
life.
savings
Yes.
over the course of the
And-
bond.
Right, and all the parameters that we set in the resolution were met. So it was a successful issue, and it also included the sale day report in the packet and Moody's full report, which I think had been included when you approved the resolution to begin with, but I just put it in there again.
Questions? Discussion? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, it's just a presentation.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
nothing
excuse me,
really
no
to
action
move
on
on.
this, so
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, well, that makes it easy, so, good deal. Well, that is good news. It saves us money,
Yeah.
and, maybe there is going to be a little bit of market stability to look forward to.
Yeah, and New Berlin sold the same day as us with Ellers, and they paid over 3. Just saying.
All right. We'll move on to item number 6, discussion and possible action on resolution to formally support 2025 Senate Bill 333.
Yeah, so when a police officer or a citation is issued, there's various fees that are attached to that citation, one of them being court costs. And the state statutes dictate what the city can charge, and that the city can keep $38 of those court fees, and then 5 of it goes to the state of Wisconsin for an administrative oversight, which I don't really know what they're doing. But anyhow, our rate has not changed since 2013. Obviously, we've had a lot of inflationary increases in court. That would include, the judge costs, the secretary's costs. Obviously, we have new security that we've built into the building. We have new software that we're paying for since 2013. So all of those things are impacting our court costs. And this legislation would increase that to a range of not less than $42 and not more than $51. And it really, as the previous legislation, it's really up to the municipal judge to decide what amount they're going to include in the court fee composition. So this would just, if we took this if finance approves, we'd take it to council at the next meeting, a resolution supporting the legislation. Our representatives right now are not on the bill to support this, or they're not, I don't know what the term is, but, they're not like so it would gain their attention. They would know that we supported it. And I think it's a good thing for us because, again, we do have costs related to maintaining our courts, and we should be able to recover those costs. Because if nobody broke a law, we wouldn't have a court.
That's true. Any questions on that? Okay, otherwise I will entertain a motion to draft a resolution to send it to, in support of Senate Bill 333. Motion by Tierney, second by Watson. Discussion? Not hearing anything. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that carries. All right. And then finally, number 7, a discussion and possible action setting Finance Committee meetings to consider the 2026 budget on September 29, 2025, September 30, 2025, and October 1st, 2025. And for reference, that would be a Monday, a Tuesday, and a Wednesday.
Yes. And the way the month falls this year, that happens to be, kind of an open week
Yeah.
as far as meetings, so it worked out. And we wouldn't have to have all of the meetings, just to kind of set it aside on the calendar. And
Because I know, I got a feeling getting started early is probably going to be a good thing.
yeah,
And we can, yep, Alder Tierney?
Thank you. I was just wondering when we would get that financial information.
the budget book,
Right.
yeah. So the mayor and I have been meeting with departments to go over the budget. Those will conclude next week, and then we'll start compiling the budget the following week. I hope to be ready a little sooner this year than last year.
Yeah, I just want a chance to look at it
Yeah,
before
for sure.
we have to take any
Yep.
action. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it usually takes, I know it takes at least 2 meetings to go through that book,
Yep.
so. Alder Henke?
Thank you. What time are we thinking?
Oh.
5:30 or 6 or?
Yeah, because I don't believe there's any meetings after this meeting, these dates.
I'd just like to get it in my calendar, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just going to pull up the city calendar here. There's nothing in the evening, it looks like, scheduled. I mean, we can meet at 5:30, we can meet at 6, or would 6 work for I think 6 is, or is that, gives everybody a chance to,
Go home and eat and
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
grab
get back in
bites.
here. Yeah, I'm okay with 6.
okay,
that works.
all right. And then I don't think we need a motion for that, we just direct staff to make it so. So that sounds good. Okay, and then with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion from Tierney, second from McElhaney. There's no discussion, so all those in favor say aye. Aye. And we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Right.